The French daily La Libération carried a report on 22 April 2008 headed, "The anthropologist Pascal Pic says that creationism is growing stronger." In the paper, which has a circulation of 140,000, reference was made to the strengthening of creationism in France and the impact the Atlas of Creation has had on this change. Sarkozy's statements agreeing with what creationists and the opponents of secularism have been saying came as a great surprise to me. In their eyes, the reason for the evils of the 20th century is that people turned their backs on religion. What is the evidence? People who turned their backs on the Creator turned into animals behaving in conformity with Darwin's theory. If someone is taught that he is descended from a lower order of animal and is given no religious instruction, then this leads to all kinds of disasters. For that reason, evolution must be removed from the education syllabus. The media were largely unconcerned by Islamic creationist movements. Until, that is, the Turkish writer Harun Yahya's Atlas of Creation reached thousands of people. Then there was literally complete panic, because a book from a Muslim country had fallen like a rock into the sea of realities. Politis, a French weekly news journal, took anti-evolutionary creationist activities as its cover story under the banner headline, "Creationist Attack on Darwinism." The article stated that university students began doubting the theory of evolution, now that the Atlas of Creation had spread through the country. Universities have been slow to realize this. They never expected that students would one day assail them with these questions. The arrival in Europe of the Atlas of Creation has led to serious panic among materialists and Darwinists across the continent. They say that the Atlas, which they say bears no resemblance to any other work opposed to evolution they have previously seen, is far more of a threat from the point of view of their own intellectual systems than all other anti-Darwinist works to date. So much so, in fact, that they have even tried to ban the book. Following a session discussing the teaching of creationism in schools, the Council of Europe, headquartered in the French city of Strasbourg, went on to hold a press conference on 4 October 2007. The main subject of the conference was the Atlas of Creation, which lay on the table throughout. At the press conference, Anne Brasseur, a politician from Luxembourg who recently submitted a report to the Council, picked up the atlas to show it to the assembled journalists and went on to say, "Harun Yahya is a Muslim, Turkish creationist. This is the first volume. There are 2 more. It has been sent out to Europe in 2 languages, English and French. It says that the theory of evolution is a lie, that Darwinism is the root cause of terror, and that it is responsible for the dictators of the 20th century and the like." Asked by a journalist about the messages that had been received in response to the report, the parliamentarians answered, "Generally speaking, we received negative emails. Very few letters supported the report. The letters were all opposed to the report. The Commission and I were generally described as people with no respect for freedom of expression and freedom of religion." Through its attitude to the Atlas of Creation, the Council of Europe made it clear that it was quite able to ignore such concepts as democracy and freedom of thought and belief when these clashed with its own views. On the other hand, such great fear of an idea, the Atlas of Creation being seen as a danger solely because it proves the oneness and existence of God, confirms the truth of the message contained within the book. The Atlas of Creation, which has spurred Europeans who claim to espouse democracy and freedom of ideas and belief to adopt contradictory policies, such as book banning, is still the subject of debate. And what is more, the shockwaves from it are spreading ever wider. Belgium. De Morgen, a popular Belgian daily published in Flemish, carried a third report regarding Harun Yahya's Atlas of Creation on 16 February 2008. The report emphasized how belief in the theory of evolution had been on a continual decline in Belgium in the wake of the Atlas of Creation. The report, which also constituted the daily's cover story, went on to say the following under the headline, "A Major Conspiracy Against the Theory of Evolution." I do not believe that we are descended from apes. It is stated in the Quran that this is untrue. Muslims have been asked in recent weeks why they reject the theory of evolution. The questioner invariably encounters the same name every time, Harun Yahya. The year of Darwin, the founder of the theory of evolution, is approaching, but at the same time the theory is being increasingly rejected in this country. A great many Muslim students, for instance, reject the idea that living things have a common ancestor and evolved over the course of centuries. From the end of the 1990s, they have dedicated themselves to opposing Darwinists. They waged that struggle on a gradual basis. In 2005, half of the Turkish science teachers still believed in the theory of evolution. Last year, however, according to a similar poll, the figure had fallen to only 1 in 4. Corriere della Sera, Italy's most widely read daily, devoted considerable space to the impact in Europe of the Atlas of Creation. The report in the paper, which has a circulation of some 700,000, appeared under the cover page headline, "Christians and Muslims Join Forces Against Darwinism," and continued under the heading, "Teachers in Belgian Schools Are Boycotting the Theory of Evolution," covering the reactions of teachers to Darwinist education. A new alliance between Christian and Muslim teachers. According to some professors who teach students biology or natural sciences, Darwin's claims are all lies and are unworthy of being taught. They believe in creation and that the origins of human life lie not in orangutans, but in an infinite divine power, and that is what they teach their students. In their view, Adnan Oktar, also known as Harun Yahya, is right. In its 9 February 2008 issue, the Belgian French-language daily, Le Soir, referred to the Atlas of Creation, which had been banned in the country. A short while ago, the Atlas of Creation was offered to schools and universities as well as large national libraries. European libraries were stunned by this large illustrated book written by a Turk called Harun Yahya, with the aim of refuting the theory of evolution. A book being sent to the section for burning means that it has shocking subject matter. La Libre, a Belgian daily, noted the rapid spread in the country of belief in creation